Hey, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone to be here. We are meeting after a very, very long time. We last met in the month of May, in the start of May, before the Mass. So it's been at least 10 days since the Mass is done. So I wouldn't even venture to ask any one of you if you don't know what we discussed. But still, does anyone remember what we discussed? Jagannath Rath Yatra, okay. What is Jagannath Rath Yatra? Maharaj Pratap, yes, okay. What about him?
So he was not getting the mercy. So when he started sweeping the street, then Mahaprabhu noticed him.
Very nice. He was not getting the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So he takes the position for servant. And the Lord notices that. Yes, what else?
When he sang Gopi Geet.
He sang Gopi Geet, okay. But before Mahaprabhu gave mercy to Maharaj Pratap, who got mercy?
His son.
His son got mercy. His son became recipient of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the father. Why did the son become the recipient of mercy? Because the son reminded Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of Krishna, his conversion side of Krishna. And he was very young, without holding any upadhi. Upadhi means title. Maharaj Prataputra had no upadhi called as Raja. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just with that one title, was keeping distance from Maharaj Prataputra. But the son did not have any upadhi. Sarvupadi hi muktam tatvatveya nirmalam rishikesh sevana bhakti ruchate. Our only upadhi is to be the servant of Krishna. That's the only upadhi. The other upadhis are what we hold on to in this life. I am the software developer, I am a product manager, I am the CEO of the company, I am this, I am that. These are other upadhis, but our eternal upadhi, our eternal position and title is Sri Veda Guru Bhavai Nitya Krishna Das. Is the eternal servant of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. What else?
So there was an incident when Rath was not moving and Mahaprabhu in the back just put his head, touch his head of the
Rath was not moving and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his head, he used our hand and we need tens and hundreds of people to use their energy with their hand to pull the Rath, and then Jagannath, if he is happy, he moves. But Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his head, he went behind the Rath and with his head, it's almost like FIFA World Cup going on. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did.
Yeah, he gave the rope to his associates so that they could get the credit that they have moved. But before that, the wrestlers, like all of them from the King Pratap, they were not able to move the chariot. So yeah.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did it with his head, he gave the credit to his servants. So a quick recap of what we have done. We discussed how is the journey of the heart. The Rath Yatra is the festival where it is the Brajavasis trying to take Jagannath, who is Krishna, back to Vrindavan. What is the purpose of pulling? It's not just taking the Lord from Bellevue to Redmond or Redmond to Baldwin. This is external. The purpose of Rath Yatra is to take the Lord back to his eternal home, that is the land of Vrindavan. Then, as all of you mentioned, the king steps down in a sincere service, and humility attracts the mercy of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is not very inspired by our positions and our material accomplishments. The Supreme Lord is inspired and is pleased and showers mercy by the sincerity of the practitioner. I remember one time, in fact it was the next day after my marriage, it was 28th of March 2024, and after the Yamuna Aarti was done at the Kauniko village, my brother and I were sitting, and His Holiness Swami Maharaj was there. And somehow there was a conversation that happened, and Maharaj started speaking. And then Maharaj made a couple of points on that sort of thing. He mentioned as to how without the mercy of the Lord and without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, one cannot really make any advancement. One can chant many number of rounds and one can know many verses. But this doesn't impress the Lord. Why? Because it is His name that we are chanting. And He knows more verses than we do. If we have the ability to speak, it is Bhagavan who is giving that ability. If He can give ability in one go, He can take that ability also. Balam Bhagavatam Chaham Kamaraga Vivartitam Dharma Viruddha Bhuteshu Kamos Vibharatarshava. In the Gita, Bhagavan says, Balam Bhagavatam Chaham. If anyone has any strength in this world, Krishna says, I give them that strength. If someone has any fame, Krishna says, I give a portion of my fame to that person, and that's why that person becomes famous. If someone has any intelligence, Krishna says, I share a portion of my intelligence with that person. So realistically, if you see, any of the material qualities that anyone possesses, we become proud of it. That, oh, someone is very intelligent, or someone is very famous, or someone is whatever, very strong, etc. But realistically, hands on our heart, if someone is intelligent, someone understands that it is actually Bhagavan who is giving that potency, that ability to that person. If he can give, he can also take it away. mind you, he is very good at snatching things. He is the best among thieves. No one is better thief than him. If he can kill, he is very good at stealing. The stealing of butter and yogurt is external. He can steal many more things away. Right? So Srila Radha Swami Maharaj was saying in that conversation, he mentioned as to how Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is such a prominent figure in our Gaudiya Sampradaya. And it's very fascinating for the fact that today, tomorrow is Pani Hati Chidadahi Mahotsav. Today is a very auspicious occasion. Today is Chidadahi Mahotsav. And we'll come to that discussion later. But Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, who is the Prayojan Acharya, who lived 45 years at the banks of Radhakund, there's no one who knows better Krishna consciousness than Raghunath Das Goswami. Still, that Raghunath Das Goswami offered about 2,000 obeisances to the Vaishnavas every single day. 2,000. And on top of that, 1,000 to Krishna, which makes it 3,000 obeisances every single day. No need of any fitness. Every day. And he will do this voluntarily. Why? To become the recipient of the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Someone as holy as Raghunath Das Goswami is begging that if Vaishnavas bless me, then I will be able to understand Krishna. Which makes it very clear that to understand Bhagavan, to go deeper on this path of Krishna consciousness, the devotees have to bless us. Without the blessings of the Vaishnava community, it is very difficult. This is the first point. Then Maharaj said second example. He said, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, before writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, went around Vrindavan begging for mercy. He asked the blessings and the mercy and the instruction and the empowerment of the Brajavasis. Finally, he came to Radha Madan Mohan where the garland fell. You have heard the story. So even Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, who was so exalted, to write Chaitanya Charitamrita, he begs the Vaishnavas, please bless me. Otherwise, I cannot make any person. Second point. Third point, Srila Radha Swami Maharaj, he said, Kaliya came to Braj. And it's very interesting because we were sitting on the banks of Yamuna, and Yamuna is the place where the whole Bhasara unfolded. So then he said these 2 points and immediately connected the point of Kaliya and said, Kaliya got the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Krishna danced to the hooks of Kaliya. How? Because Kaliya was the recipient of the mercy of the Nagapatnis who were devotees. The Nagapatnis were devotees, the wives of Kaliya. Right? They were devotees. Kaliya was not a devotee. But because he was connected to a devotee who were sold out to the lotus feet of Bhagavan, Krishna decided to shower mercy. Which means there can be someone who may not be really interested on the path, but if you are just connected to a devotee, the big uddhar is changed. Still the person can get benefited just by being connected to a devotee. So the point I'm trying to make is, it's very glorious to become a devotee in one's lifetime. It's not an ordinary thing. To become a devotee in one's lifetime, first of all, it takes very many lifetimes to become a devotee. And the glory is such that anyone connected to you, if you are sincerely practicing, even that person can get uplifted. What to speak of that? Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto says, anyone who's a proper devotee, who's going to get Krishna, who's going to get Bhagavan, 21 generations get uplifted. 21 पीढ़ी तर जाता है. 21 generations get uplifted just by the presence of one devotee in a family. That's how glorious it is to become a devotee. You're not just doing good to yourself. It's the highest form of philanthropy where you're doing good to yourself. You're doing good to generations before you, you're doing good to generations after you. Just by being a devotee. So the point I'm trying to make is Maharaj in that conversation, he gave 3 examples of personalities who are humble enough to recognize that they need the mercy of the Vaishnavas. And then finally, as we were discussing this, there was a frog that it's water, so there was a frog jumped from one side of the river to the other side. Not one side of the river to the other side, but a few meters, let's say, it jumped. And frogs, as we have seen, it croaks. And when the frog croaks, what happens? It attracts the snake. For the snake, it is Mahaprasade Govinde. Like the frog croaks, the snake understands. The frog croaks. And Maharaj immediately he paused. He became very great. And Maharaj said, our material achievements are like a frog croaking. They really don't mean much. But if a person is only croaking about the material achievement that he or she has, very soon the snake of death will come and choke the person. And mind you, when he said it, I am not doing justice. When he said it with so much intensity. I remember my brother and I, we looked at each other when he said it. Because it was not someone like me is just repeating. He said it out of conviction. I don't know how to put it, but he said it out of realization. And which is a fact. Right? Our material achievements in Krishna consciousness are worthy enough to be glorified if they help in Krishna consciousness. If they are helping in preaching, if they are helping in construction of the temple or whatever, then that material achievement has value. But if the person is only talking about material achievement without performing Krishna consciousness or without volunteering to help others go deeper in Krishna consciousness, then it is Shrama Eva Hi Keva. It is hard work, but not much value. So Maharaj Pratap was a Maharaj, who was a king, was ready to stoop down to become a humble servant. Even when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, that who are you? Maharaj Pratap did not say, I am the king of Orissa. When we are asked, we say, oh, I am the CEO of this company. I am principal program manager. I am a Java developer. I work for Amazon. Naam to suna hi hoga. That's the introduction that we give. When Maharaj Pratap was asked, Maharaj Pratap very humbly he says, Raja kahe ami tomar dasayanu das vrityera vritya koro e morash. Raja kahe ami tomar dasayanu das. My dear Lord, who am I? I am the servant of your servant. Vrityera vritya koro e morash. The only desire that I have is in lifetimes to come, including this lifetime, I want my recognition to be the servant of the servant of the servant. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu noticed this attracted Mahaprabhu. So what attracts Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is our humility, our sincerity. As devotees explained, the Jayanti Devi Kandagopi was chanted. My Lord, I am the most obedient servant of your servant. Maharaj Pratap says. And then we see the Rath was kind of not moving, material candidates were failing, and there were elephants and all. Very strong personality, 6-pack, 8-pack, etc. And still Bhagavan is Swaraj, he's independent. If he doesn't want to move, he will not move. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is again not different from Jagannath. It's very funny. Jagannath doesn't want to move. So Jagannath expands the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to move himself. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes behind with his head. He just catches and then the Rath miraculously starts moving. We spoke about this in the mood of Sri Vrindavan Dham, that resting in the garden for 9 days, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feelings of intense separations subside. Surrounded by jubilant trees, chirping birds, and cool breezes, he feels that Lord Krishna has finally returned to Sri Dham Vrindavan. Sri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. This is the mood of Adhyaya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of Jagannath is being forced by his devotees to come back to the land of Braj. And we discussed this as to how there were water sports at Indradyumna Sarovar, the Lord with his devotees. Yes, they are devotees, but devotees sometimes also have some very transcendental pastimes. And while they are there in the water, devotees start fighting with each other. Advaita Acharya Nityananda in water, they start fighting. Swarup Damodar and Pundarik Vidyanidhi, they start fighting with each other. Murari Gupta and Vasudev Datta, Srivas Thakur and Tadakar Pandit, Raghav Pandit and Makareshwar Pandit, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramanand Rai. And all this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seeing from a distance. Mahaprabhu says, what is this? You all are devotees. People should take inspiration. You all are going waist deep inside the water and fighting with each other. The devotees say, my dear Lord, you also join us. Devotees also have a life. Till the time you are not breaking regulatory principles, it's not wrong to play in water. Devotees here in Shastra itself, they make teams and they are fighting with each other. Finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to somehow convince them to get them out of water. And mind you, they are not 5-year-old boys. They are good 30, 40, 50-year-olds. Otherwise, Acharya appeared before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you can imagine. He is an old man. All of them are just. And Advaita and Nityananda are God brothers, by the way. So God brothers inside water, one is an old man, another is Shankarshan, both are fighting each other. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, so God and his devotees are very interesting. We spoke about this as to how the love of the devotees watching the playful exuberance of Sarvabhauma and Ramananda Rai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiles. The Lord's mercy effortlessly converts grave, staunch scholars into pure devotees, allowing them to taste the rare nectar of Krishna Prema. What is the goal of life? Okay, I ask you this. What's the goal of life? Is it to achieve Krishna or is it to achieve Krishna Prema? Krishna Prema. How many say Krishna Prema? How many say Krishna? No, it's not wrong. I am saying Krishna only, not Duryodhana. How many say the goal of life is to achieve Krishna? Okay, Krishna. And how many say it is Krishna Prema? Love unto Krishna. And how many say, Prabhuji, whatever you say, that is right? The Shastra explains, this question is presented in the Shastra itself. And very beautifully it is explained that our goal is to achieve Krishna Prema, love unto Krishna. Why? What is wrong in achieving Krishna? There is nothing wrong in achieving Krishna. But if there is no Prema unto Krishna, then we will be like Duryodhana, Dushyasan, Shakuni, Duryodhana, etc., who also got Krishna. But they did not have Krishna Prema. So our goal, yes, is to achieve Krishna. But more important is, we want to love Krishna. When Krishna comes in front of us, we should be in a position where we love Krishna and are not like Duryodhana, Shakuni, and Dushyasan, etc., where they are inimical to Krishna. Right? So what is our goal? Is it Krishna or Krishna Prema?
Krishna Prema.
That's our goal. So here we see. So now our Jagannath, after the Rath Yatra is done, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in the garden? Jagannath goes to a place called as the Gundicha temple. And Gundicha temple is considered Sri Vrindavan. So the temple of Jagannath, after the Rath Yatra is closed, Jagannath goes to Gundicha. And Jagannath tells Lakshmi Devi, his consort, Jagannath tells Lakshmi Devi, I will come back very soon. Tomorrow I will come back. Jagannath says. Lakshmi Devi says, "Take it. One day, Jagannath doesn't come back. 2 days, Jagannath doesn't come back. 3 days, Jagannath doesn't come back. It's 5 days. Jagannath is not to be seen. The wife becomes very angry. Where did the husband go? Husband said he will come tomorrow, he is not coming, it's been 5 days, where did the husband go? Lakshmi Devi becomes very angry. On the 5th day, what is the 5th day called? Panchami. Right? We have Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami, Ashami, Navami, Dashami, Sabha. The 5th day, Lakshmi Devi wants to see Jagannath. To see means Hera. H-E-R-A, Hera. And it's the 5th day, Panchami. On the 5th day, Lakshmi Devi dresses herself very royally, very majestically. And now, along with her servants, Lakshmi Devi goes to find and chastise Jagannath. So the wife is going with the full entourage to find the husband and to get the husband back. So Lakshmi Devi dresses her. She becomes very opulent. And finally, on the 5th day, she leaves. So to see means Hera. 5th day is called Panchami. This day is called as Hera Panchami. Have you heard Hera Panchami? No? There is a festival called as Hera Panchami. It's celebrated in Jagannath Puri. It's the day when Lakshmi Devi on 5th day leaves her home to go to Gundicha temple to find and prepare Jagannath. Lakshmi Devi is very angry at this point. Promised to return the next day. Lakshmi Devi is left waiting. On the 5th day of the moon, gorgeously decorated and surrounded by an opulent procession, she arrives at the Gundicha temple in a mood of transcendental jealousy. When Jagannath sees Lakshmi Devi's servants, they come and arrest the servants of Jagannath. They come and arrest the servants of Jagannath. The servants of Jagannath says, please forgive us, tomorrow your master will be back. Today you please go, tomorrow your master will be back. Lakshmi Devi says, tomorrow you should be back. Tomorrow you will be back. Please. They come and arrest. Lakshmi Devi is sitting royally. All the Mataji's will really love this story. The wife is victorious over the husband. They arrested the servants of the Lord, exhibiting the pride, ambition, and weeping of pure love. The supreme goddess of fortune demands answers. Her maidservants treat the servants of Lord Jagannath like thieves, arresting them in stunning display of loving entitlement and pride with Dakshin Bhav dominance. Jagannath says, I will come back tomorrow. But our Lord, He makes promises. But He has a problem. That problem is He makes promises, He really doesn't fulfill them. And there are so many examples of it. He will tell Arjun, don't leave the battle, you are meant to fight. And then he runs away from Jarasandha. And the Supreme Lord is so amazing, he leaves the battlefield, still he gets a name Ranchodrai. He tells Arjun, you are Kshatriya, you should fight. But that same Supreme Lord runs away. He says you should not steal. He steals in Vrindavan. This is why in the Gita, there is a famous verse called as Kshipram Bhavati Dharmatma Kshashvar Shakti Nigachati Kaunteya Pradijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashati 9:31 Gita, where the verse essentially says, my devotee never perishes. Name Bhakta Pranashati, मेरे भक्तों का नाश नहीं होता. भगवान छाती ठोकर होते, मेरे भक्तों का नाश नहीं होता. My devotee doesn't perish. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in that commentary he writes, Krishna really doesn't say this verse. Krishna says, Kaunteya Pratijani Name Bhakta Pranashati. Hey Kaunteya, hey Arjun, you please declare that my devotee doesn't perish. Why? Because if I declare, people will not trust. But if you declare, people will say, oh, Arjuna said it, that means it's true. Kaunteya Pratijani, hey Kaunteya, aap boliye, you declare that my devotee doesn't perish. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes. So we see that the Lord makes many promises. He also made a promise in Vrindavan that He will come back the next day. Ayasyam, the 10th candle. But He really didn't come back. He sent Uddhav. When Uddhav came back, He sent Balram. Balram went, Balram came back, still Krishna did not come. Krishna did not come. So we see here Krishna makes a promise, Jagannath, that I will come. This was day 5. On the 9th day, Jagannath returns. So after 4 days of Lakshmi Devi coming, which means for 9 days he stays in Gundicha temple. And he is in no mood of returning. But polarity he goes. Why? Because Gundicha represents the land of Vrindavan. And Lakshmi Devi is Aishwarya. Jagannath is Krishna. Krishna any day loves to live in the land of Vrindavan. The mood of Gaudiya Sampradaya is not Lakshmi Narayan. Lakshmi Narayan are very, very glorious. But for that we have separate Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya. The Gaudiya Sampradaya streamlined the worshippers of Radha and Krishna. That is why in our temples we have Radha Krishna. We don't have Lakshmi Narayan. We worship Lakshmi Narayan. We respect them. They are very, very glorious. But this Sampradaya, it's like if you go to a medical school and say, why you are not teaching engineering? It's just not an engineering school, it's a medical school. You want to learn engineering, put it in engineering school. Similarly, the Gaudiya Sampradaya follows the worshippers of Radha and Krishna. If someone is a worshipper of, let's say, Lord Shiva, you have separate Sampradaya. If someone is a worshipper of Nimbaka Acharyas, you have separate Sampradaya. But if someone is coming in this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, then they are worshippers of Radha and Krishna, especially followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Srivas Thakur, who was one associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srivas Thakur, he looks at Swarup Damodar Goswami and says, "My dear Swarup Damodar, your Vrindavan there is no Aishwarya. Your Vrindavan is what? Only trees, twigs, plants, cows, gobar. What is your Vrindavan? You have some village ladies boiling some milk, living in thatched roofs. That's not real luxury. That's not real opulence. Real opulence is where our God is Lakshmi Devi lives. There is so much Aishwarya in abundance. Your Vrindavan really isn't that way. So this brings the point of how Gaudiya Vaishnavas actually see opulence. The general understanding of opulence is where there is wealth, where there is gold, where there is luxury, etc. But the Vrindavan understanding is wherever Krishna is there is opulence. Because Krishna is the ultimate gold. Krishna is the ultimate jewel. Wherever Bhagavan is there, as Krishna Shyama Sundar playing the flute. More Mukunda Hari. That is ultimate happiness. So Srivas, when he says this Swarup Damodar Goswami says, our Vrindavan is so glorious, it is the land of Chintamani. No Chitta. It is the land of no anxiety. We say Vaikunta. Kunta means anxiety. Vaikunta, Nikada Kunta, that place that doesn't have any anxiety. Vaikunta is that place where there is no anxiety. There is anxiety in the soul. So much anxiety is that everyone has anxiety. Okay? As I am saying this word anxiety, I am pretty sure the devotees are already thinking what their anxiety is. The mind is so tricky. Everyone has anxiety. If there is no anxiety, this world will be very good. But wherever devotees are there, wherever temple is there, that is very good. In fact, it's very interesting. When Prabhupada for the first time entered the Melbourne Temple, Australia, Prabhupada entered, he just kept one foot inside the temple. And Prabhupada stopped and Prabhupada looked around and said, I feel as if I have entered Vaikuntha in Melbourne Temple. So even now in Melbourne Temple, when you enter, there is a board and it says, this is Vaikuntha. Why? Because Prabhupada said it. So the Melbourne Temple is called the Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir, MMM. Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir. Prabhupada came to his first foot and said, I feel as if I have come to Vaikuntha. So Swarup Damodar Goswami says, Vrindavan is the place where it is Chintamani. It is the place where there are Kalpa Vriksha trees, desire fulfilling. It is the place where there are Kamadhenu cows. It is the place where every speech seems like a song. Imagine if every word seems like a song, how would singing songs be like? Every step is like a dance. If every step is like a dance, how would the dancing be? And every day is a festival. If every day is a festival, how would actually the festivals would be? And Swarup Damodar Goswami goes on to explain the glory of Vrindavan as to how every word is like a song, every step is like a dance, and every day is a festival. And when Srivas Thakur hears this, Srivas knows the glory of Vrindavan, but he wants to hear it from the lips of Swarup Damodar Goswami. And when Srivas hears it, Srivas becomes so happy that he starts jumping and starts clapping and starts hitting his armpits. You see here, and this analogy is given many times in Shastra. Even Madhumangal, who was one of Krishna's friends, whenever Madhumangal also becomes happy, Madhumangal has the habit of slapping his armpits in happiness. So it seems like something from the spiritual world, when they are happy, they start slapping their armpits. We see in the Bhoga Arti also, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur has done. Bhaktivinoda Thakur then he writes that this Madhumangal is such a personality, he is very fond of laddus. They are called as Manohar laddus. Mana, those laddus that steal the mind. Manohar laddus. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Chale vale laddu kaye Shri Madhumangala Bagala bajaye aarate hari bolo. He slaps his armpits and says, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, while having laddu in his hand. One laddu can make Madhumangal so happy. He's a big time foodie. That's why And here we see Srivastava is also so happy just by hearing the glories and mood of Vrindavan from the lips of Sri Damodar Goswami, then he starts jumping. So the mood of the devotees of Prabhupada is very clear. There is no ambiguity. The mood is to attain Sri Radha and Krishna. And more importantly, it's not just Krishna, but it is Krishna Prem, love unto Supreme Lord. Srila Madhusudan Saraswati, who is one very great commentator, we see even in the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's references there. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, to his commentary, verse 1, he very beautifully describes the sweetness of Vrindavan. He says, please can you repeat? Dhyana-bhyasa vashikritena manasa
Dhyana-bhyasa vashikritena manasa
Tannirgunam niskriyam
Tannirgunam niskriyam
Jyoti kinchana yogino yadiparam
Jyoti kinchana yogino yadiparam
Pashyanti pashyantu te
Pashyanti pashyantu te
Asmakam tuta eva lojana jamar
Asmakam tu tadeva lojana jamar
Karaya bhuya chiram
Karaya bhuya chiram
Kalindi pulineshu yakimapi
Kalindi pulineshu yatkimapi
Tannilam mahodhavati
Tannilam mahodhavati
Madhusudana Saraswati says that those who are the yogis, what do the yogis do? Dhyan. The yogis meditate. He says there can be yogis who are deep in their meditation. And what are they meditating on? The yogis perceive the absolute truth as qualityless, that is nirguna, niskriyam, that is motionless, impersonal, like people say, right? Bhagavan nirguna hai, nirakara hai, ityadi. Madhusudana Saraswati says, Dhyana, Bhyasa, Vachi, Kritena, Manasa, Nirguna, Niskriyam. There can be yogis who can think that the Lord is motionless, the Lord doesn't have a form, the Lord doesn't have attributes, so on and so forth. Jyoti kinchana yogino yadipara pashyanti pashyantu te. He says, Pashyanti pashyantu te, they may perceive it that way. We don't care. He says, Hame nahi farak hota. You can think that the Lord doesn't have form, the Lord doesn't have attributes, etc., name, roof, form, qualities, etc. He says, Pashyantu, we don't care. Asmakam, but we, our being. Asmakam deva lojana chamakaraya bhurachiram kalindi pulineshu yarkimapitan neelam mahodhavati. He says, but for us, in Kalindi Puli, which means on the banks of Kalindi, then Neelam Mahodhavati, there is one Neelam, one bluish boy on the banks of Kalindi. And Lojana Chamakaraya Bhuyachiram. This bluish boy is so effulgent. On the banks of Kalindi, he plays a flute. Madhusudana Saraswati says, our only hope is this supreme bluish, most effulgent boy playing the flute. May he become the ornament of my eye. He says, we don't care who says whether God has form. Why? Because we know the realities. Pashyante pashyantute. Let people speak whatever they want, because we cannot stop everyone. But asmaka, as far as we are concerned, we are convinced there is this bluish boy who plays the flute on the banks of Jamuna. And he's like an Indra Neelamani. When Krishna was killing Trinavarta, Shukadeva Goswami says, when Krishna went up in the air, Trinavarta was a whirlwind. When he took Krishna up in the air, Krishna just before that had expressed his desire to Mother Yashoda, looking at the birds, Maya, the birds fly in the air. He had told Mother Yashoda, my dear mother, the birds fly in the air. How I wish I can also fly in the air. Mother Yashoda said, Krishna, very good, but that's not possible. You have to become a bird, Krishna, to fly in the air. But Mother Yashoda didn't know. Krishna doesn't really have to become a bird to fly in the air. If he can arrange things that can was clinging on to the neck of Trinavarta. He was like an Indra Nilamani. He was like a blue sapphire on the neck of Trinavarta. It was almost as if Trinavarta had now worn a locket of blue diamonds, blue sapphire on his neck. And that blue sapphire necklace was Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Shyam Sundar Shri Krishna. So here we see Manaswata Saraswati says, Kalindi Purnesh Yatkamavitan Neela Maho Bhavati. Let whatever people want to say, let them say. We know our goal is to attain that Lord of Sri Vrindavan who sits on the back of Yamuna, plays his flute with the Brajvasis, and we don't want this to attain Krishna, we want to attain Krishna. As the story continues, the Rath Yatra ends finally. After many days, the Rath Yatra ends. And go on slide that. Because I know when I go to the next slide, the eyes are all looking there. So, I was getting some suspense. As the Rath Yatra ends, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts bidding farewell to different devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looks at Advaita Acharya and says, my dear Advaita, please distribute love of God into everyone, including those who are Chandalas. Chandalas are those who are dog eaters. In Shastra, the word for those who eat dogs are called as Chandala. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Advaita Acharya that go and distribute the sweetness of Krishna consciousness to the Chandalas. One devotee I know of, when he was getting initiated, when he was getting second initiation from Srila Radha Swami Maharaj, he asked Maharaj, what are some instructions for me? And Maharaj gave him 2 instructions. Maharaj told him the first instruction is spread the sweetness of Krishna consciousness around. Whomever you meet, spread the sweetness of Bhakti. People should like Krishna consciousness when they come in contact with you. Be an ideal character. When people come in contact with you, they start liking Krishna consciousness. Spread the sweetness of Krishna consciousness of Bhakti around first. And second, Maharaj told him, never criticize anyone. Whatever it is, never criticize anyone. Oh, he said it. Oh, she said it. Oh, but they actually did it. Doesn't matter. Because we have always seen time and again in Shastra, whenever any person makes any critical remark, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not very appreciative of it. Even if it is Sachimala, even if Mahaprabhu's own mother made some remarks against Advaita Acharya, Mahaprabhu was not very happy. How about Durvasa Muni? Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj, some ifs and buts, and the Sudarshan Chakra was chasing Durvasa Muni. One thing that we've always seen in Shastra, if we are critical to devotees, if we make sarcastic comments against devotees, if we are disrespectful to devotees, if we criticize them, Krishna really doesn't like us. How much ever we chant, how much ever we hear, how much ever we do any service, offenses to Vaishnavas are something that cannot be nullified by increasing sadhana. Sometimes we think, oh, I said it, let me chant 64 or Pandava Ekadashi, Krishna will nullify the offense. Everything else can be nullified except offenses to Vaishnavas. If we make critical remarks to Vaishnavas, very carelessly, if there is lack of control of the tongue and we make critical remarks to Vaishnavas, Krishna can forget everything except this one thing, offenses to Vaishnavas, including the offense of Sachimata. When the Lord's mother is not spared, how will you and I be spared? So Srila Radha Maharaj told his disciple 2 instructions. Spread the sweetness of Krishna consciousness. Second, never criticize devotees, whatever it is. If we are in a position where we are their Siksha Guru, we are their mentor, then we have the power to correct. But the correction should be with the desire of improving the Krishna consciousness of the other person. Not with the agenda of showing the other person I know better than you. Right? Even if he is someone's mentor, we have the ability to correct, but in the hindsight we should have it in mind that I am correcting so that not to increase my false ego, but to show this person that this is the right path and not boost my pride or false ego. But if someone is not even someone's counselor, someone is not even a mentor, someone is not even Siksha Guru or Diksha Guru, then one should really not speak. Offenses are committed by opening the mouth. Offenses are never committed by keeping the mouth shut. People can say, oh, this person is introvert. Keep it. Offense to नहीं. Offenses are always committed when the mouth is a chatterbox. So one should be very careful. This is why Rupa Goswami first thing in nectar of instruction, he says, Vacho Vega. Manasa Krodha Vega, Jiva Vega, Mudra Upastayam later. First he says control the tongue. Because if this is not controlled, Krishna consciousness falls away. The whole building collapses. So here we see. After the Rath Yatra was done, when Mahaprabhu was giving different instructions, he says this to Advaita Acharya, you spread the sweetness of bhakti and preach the Chandalas also. Then he looks at Nityananda Prabhu and says, my dear Nitya, you go to Bengal. You go to Bengal and preach Krishna consciousness there, and intermittently, I will come. But Mahaprabhu has taken Kshetra Sannyas, yes, he is not going to leave Jagannath Puri. How will Mahaprabhu come? Mahaprabhu tells Nitai, I will be virtually present. Because the Lord is Paramatma. He says to Nitai, I will be virtually present, you go there. And meet my mother Sachi. Give her this Jagannath Prasad, give her this cloth of Jagannath, and ask her how she is. Tell her I am really missing her. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking this to Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu has tears flowing down his eyes. He tells Nitai, when you meet my mother, please ask forgiveness from my mother. I took sannyas and I left her. She gave me the instruction of not being in Vrindavan but being in Jagannath Puri. I followed that. But my mother is getting old and she doesn't have anyone to take care of her. You please go there to Navadvip and console my mother. Pretty similar to how Krishna sent Uddhav to console Mother Yashoda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Nitai to console Mother Sachi. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Mother Sachi that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Nityananda Prabhu that actually one day my mother was offering bhoga to Shalika. And she offered. And in her mind she was thinking that this is something that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes very much. But here Mahaprabhu was not there. As she was saying the mantras, she opened her eyes and the plate was empty. But she thought to herself, what is happening? Am I having dementia because I am getting old? Did I not really keep anything? No, I kept. But how is it that I said few mantras and everything is empty? Maybe I didn't keep it. Let me just go there. And she went. And again she filled the plate of bhoga. And she came and offered to the Shalika. And started chanting the mantras. And in her mind she was thinking, this is something my son Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes very much. And again she opened her eyes. Again the plate was empty. Mother Sachi was getting bewildered. She did not have an answer to why the plate was getting empty. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Nita, my dear Nita, go and tell Mother Sachi that when she was offering and thinking about me, even though I was physically in Jagannath Puri, I virtually went there and ate the whole plate of prasad not once but twice. Please convince Mother Sachi that I am still there with her, but because I am a sannyasi, I have some rules to follow, but my heart is still there with her mother. Devotee means we are compassionate. Devotee means the heart is soft. If after becoming devotee also the heart is hard, what is the purpose of becoming a devotee? Devotee means devotees are soft hearted. The heart should melt. Our Acharya is right. Devotee means paradukka dukhi. Devotee means someone who becomes distressed when others are in distress. Devotee means someone who becomes sad when others are sad. Paradukka dukhi, parasukha sukhi. Others are happy, they are happy. Others are sad, they are sad. But sadly, Kali Yuga is very different. Parasukha dukhi, paradukha sukhi. Others are happy, I am sad. Others are sad, I am very happy. Paradukha sukhi, parasukha dukhi. But devotee means others, other way opposite. If others are distressed, paradukha dukhi. If someone is sad, devotee is genuinely you will be sad. And if someone is happy, you should be genuinely happy. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feels for his mother who is getting old, Mother Sachi, and gives this instruction to Nityananda Prabhu and other associates. This is the pastor that we were. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Sorry, what food Mata Sachi offered? What was the food she offered?
What
description there?
There is no description. There is no description. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes in Bengal they have this sak or shark, which is I think this leafy, green leafy. Is there any Bengali here?
Because of
Shark. What is it exactly?
Palak.
Palak. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes shark very much. Mahaprabhu likes bananas very much. You see bananas here? Mahaprabhu loves bananas. If you have brought Mahaprabhu in your home, please give bananas. He loves bananas. I remember one time my Shiksha Guru Shiva Mukundana Guru Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loves bananas. Good thing to know as Gauri Vaishnavas. Mahaprabhu, what does he like? Bananas. Radharani, what does Radharani like?
Army.
Army, yes. One more.
Kadi.
Kadi. Who said it? Okay, I haven't heard it, but okay, I'll take it. In case of fruit, what does Radharani like? Plum. Radharani likes plum. Kavi Karma writes in Ananda Chepu, Radharani likes plum very much. Plum. And you get that in red juice. So, bananas also you get. What does Krishna like?
Butter.
Fruits. Only fruits. Butter, of course. Butter Krishna likes. In fruits. Starts from C. You get it in India. Chiku. Krishna likes chiku very much. I didn't know this. In fact, it's very funny that the day I was getting engaged, that day Sripad Mukundana Prabhu was doing the engagement. So while the engagement was going on, in front of everyone he asked me, do you know what Mahaprabhu likes? I said, yes, I think bananas. He said, what does Radharani like? I said, I think plum. Then he said, what does Krishna like? And I didn't know that time. So he said, Krishna likes chiku. So that was the realization I got on the day of my engagement. What does Krishna like? Krishna loves chiku. It's a good thing to remember as Gauri Vaishnavas. Krishna loves chiku, Radharani loves plum and army. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes shark and bananas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has this. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so now has given an instruction to Nitai. He has given an instruction to Advaita Acharya. And Mahaprabhu now continues. Mahaprabhu now looks at a personality by the name Raghav Pandit. Now Raghav Pandit is a very expert cook in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Very, very expert cook. Raghav Pandit was known for his cooking. And he had so much attention to detail that Kaviraj Goswami explains that to serve the Supreme Lord, he would walk 20 miles to get coconuts. 20 miles, not 20 minutes. 20 miles he would walk. In his courtyard there were trees. But to get the best coconuts, Raghav Pandit had so much attention to detail and so much love for the Supreme Lord, he would walk 20 miles just to get coconuts. And he would offer it to the Supreme Lord. So one time it so happened that his servant went and he brought coconuts after walking 20 miles. So 20 one way, 20 other way, 40 miles. From here to our Saramage VCC temple is also not 40 miles. Right? So 25 miles? No, 25, 30 miles. More than that, they are walking to get what? Coconut. So much love of Supreme Lord. And interestingly, what happened? The servant got coconut. He was bringing it in the tokri, in the basket. That coconut touched the ceiling. And Raghav Pandit said, destroyed everything. The coconuts are contaminated. So the servant said, how are they contaminated? It just touched the ceiling. Raghav Pandit said, when people walk, their foot dust is there on the ground. And when the breeze flows, that foot dust which is on the ground may also go and touch the ceiling. Your coconuts have touched the ceiling, which has touched the foot dust of people. It is contaminated. This cannot be offered to Krishna. Disturbed. If we were there, we would have said Guru there. If not, we have asked the next time you will remember. I walked till VCC to get coconut this time. Krishna is Guru there. Krishna is Bhava Vaishana. He will forget everything. Raghav Pandit was not like that. He had made and brought it. So much attention to detail. Why is Raghav Pandit special? Especially today for the fact that Raghav Pandit lived in a place called as Panihati. What is the place?
Pani.
Panihati. Raghunath Das Goswami, being from a very, very wealthy family, left home multiple times to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had a burning desire to see Mahaprabhu, and he did that couple of times. At one point, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Raghunath Das Goswami, my dear Raghunath, don't be a Markata Mayagi, don't be a monkey runner, don't prematurely leave house. There will be a time when you will retire, that time come. Now you have your parents, serve your parents. When the right time comes, you yourself will get to know. Don't be a Markata Mayagi, don't be a monkey runner. Why monkey runner? Because monkeys externally seem very renounced. How many have been to Vrindavan? You would have seen a lot of monkeys. And Vrindavan monkeys are very transcendental. They will jump from one tree to another, they will jump from one building to another, they will jump on wires. I remember about like 15 years back, 2010, 2011, when we started going to Vrindavan. So that time we were living next to Krishna Bhagavan Mandir. There is a small hotel. It is called a Shanti Ashram. So we were living there because it's very close to Krishna Bhagavan Mandir, where MBT is there. If you know MBT, very close to MBT. So there I remember, there is a big veranda, big garden. And typical Indian style, in India we don't have this dryer system, washing machine, dryer, etc. Washing machine here, we don't have dryer. So what do people do? You put that rope and you hang. Right? So I remember there, our devotees had found different things. There were some banians, some kurtas, this, that. Morning time I got up from Mangalarti. I saw a couple of monkeys, they were putting kurta and banian on their head and running. I'm not joking. I saw they were putting banian on their head. Small monkeys following big monkeys. Orange kurta, white kurta, this kurta, that kurta, and banian on their head and jumping. And I was just thinking, my goodness, for that devotee was just coming and maybe one or two pairs of kurtas. So, bichare kurta to Mangalarti ko gaya. And in Vrindavan, monkeys are even special because they will take your glasses.
Yes. And they need fruit.
And they will not give you very easily. Right? They are very transcendental. They will take your glasses and they will go and sit up. The agenda is not glass. The agenda is not glass. Why? Because if the agenda is chashma, they will run away with that. They will take the glasses and look at you. They will be there in your vicinity or in your where your eyes reach, and they will be sitting there. Why? Because as you rightly said, they want fruity. Hot summer season, they want nice cold fruity. And mind you, the fruity has to be cold. If you give lot of fruity, they will say cheap. They will throw it away. Even buy them. This is the external. They want cold fruity. They will take your glass or your phone, you give cold fruity, they will put the straw nicely. They will put the straw inside, they will take one sip. If it is according to their expectation, then they will give the glasses back. Dadati prati grindati. You give something, they will give something in return. And if it is the fruity is not cold, they are not going to give you anything. I remember many years ago, in Vrindavan only, I had seen one devotee and that Mataji was carrying a purse. It was a very small purse. And this monkey, it took the purse and it went up. And this Mataji got so frantic, she didn't know what to do. She gave fruit, tea, etc. Somehow it was not working because it was winter season. Winter season is not very interested, monkeys are not interested in fruiting. Right? Because cold season, cold you don't take. So the monkey wanted something that this Mataji could not figure out, and no one could figure out. Finally, the monkey became so irritated. He opened the purse and emptied the purse. And I literally saw paisa ka barish ho raha. 500 and 1,000 rupee notes were all falling in the gutter.
Oh no.
And that Mataji couldn't do anything. What can you do? And for the monkey, glasses, money, purse, phone, the monkey is samadarshina. Equal. For the monkey, it doesn't really matter. So monkeys in Braj are very, very special. In Mahaprabhu's associates, when Raghunath Das Goswami went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu tells him, don't be a monkey renunciant. Why monkey renounced? Because monkeys externally seem very renounced. They don't wear clothes, they don't have houses, they live under trees. So it seems as if they are very renounced. कपड़े नहीं है, घर बार नहीं है, रहने की जगह नहीं है. मानो ऐसा लगता है कि बहुत विरक्त है. But monkeys are, as far as lust is concerned, they top the chart. So Raghunath Das Goswami says, don't prematurely leave the house like the monkeys. And eventually, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, when he meets Nityananda Prabhu in a place called as Panihati, Nityananda Prabhu looks from a distance at Raghunath Das Goswami and says, you are a cheat. He looks at everyone and says, look, a cheat has come, a thief has come. And Raghunath Das Goswami looks at me? What did I do? I just see you for the first time. Nityananda Prabhu says, no one gets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without me. You bypassed me to get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is the teaching? Nityananda Prabhu's Guru Tattva. No one gets Bhagavan without Guru. Right? No one gets Bhagavan without Guru. Even if you are Krishna, you need Satyapali, you need Bhagavad Rishi. Even if you are Sri Ram, you need Vishwamitra Muni, Vashishta Muni. Even if you are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you need Ishvara Muni. Even if you are Bhagavan, you need Guru. Nityananda Prabhu says, you became so great and you went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without me. You are a thief, you are a cheat. Raghunath Das Goswami falls at the feet of Nityananda Prabhu. Says, Master, please forgive me. What can I do as Prayaschitta? Nityananda Prabhu keeps his lotus foot on the chest of Raghunath Das Goswami and says, if the Vaishnavas forgive you, then I will forgive you. Back to the same point. If you become a recipient of their mercy, then maybe you will get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu says, the only way the Vaishnavas will become very happy is when they are given prasad. When Vaishnavas are given prasad, they become very, very happy. So it is not this now. 500 years ago also same situation. Mahaprabhu's associates also same. Prayaschitta, give prasad. So our movement is kitchen religion, as Prabhupada would say. It is prasad. Raghunath Das Goswami has Prayaschitta. He makes chida dahi, chit rice, and he gives it to everyone. And this happened in a place called as Panihati. And Rama put it in Panihati. And finally, when all the Vaishnavas were pleased, and all of them had to their heart's content, Nityananda Prabhu said, so this happened on this day. There is Panihati. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looks at Shivananda Sen and tells Shivananda Sen, my dear Shivananda Sen, please take care of Vasudeva Datta. Vasudeva Datta is married, but Vasudeva Datta has a problem. What is the problem? He doesn't know how to manage finances. He spends money here and there. He doesn't know how to manage. You please guide him as to how he can save as a grahastha. Why? Because a grahastha needs to save. If a grahastha doesn't save, how can he maintain his grahastha? Brahmacharis don't save. But Grahastha is meant to save. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Shivananda saying, you please teach Vasudeva Datta and you please mentor him how to save. Then Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he looks at the devotees of Kulina Gram. And in Kulina Gram there was a personality by the name Gunaraj Khan. What's the name?
Gunaraj Khan.
Gunaraj Khan had written a book called as Sri Krishna Vijay. What's the book?
Shri Krishna
Sri
Vijay.
Krishna Vijay. Who has written it? Gunaraj Khan. In this book called Sri Krishna Vijay, Gunaraj Khan had written one statement. He had just written one statement. Of course, there are many other things. But one statement had conquered the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What was that one statement? Please kindly repeat. Nanda Nandana Krishna.
Nanda Nandana Krishna.
Mora Prananath.
Mora Prananath.
Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Prananath.
Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Prananath.
Which means that Nanda Nandana Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Mora Prananath, he is my life. Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Prananath. Very easy to remember. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu read this, Mahaprabhu became so happy. And Mahaprabhu said, this Gunaraj Khan is very dear to my heart. Why? Because Gunaraj Khan has written a book called as Krishna, Sri Krishna Vijay, and in that book he has written this one statement. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what to speak of Gunaraj Khan? All the devotees of Kulina Gram are very dear to my heart. Why? Because they are connected to Gunaraj Khan, who has written the book called Sri Krishna Vijay, in which, in that book, he has written a statement, Nanda Nandana Krishna Mona Parananda. Then Mahaprabhu said, what to speak of Gunaraj Khan? What to speak of the devotees of Kulina Gram? Even the dog of Kulina Gram is very dear to my heart. Why? Because the dog of Kulina Gram is connected to the devotees of Kulina Gram, who are connected to Gunaraj Khan, who has written the book Sri Krishna Vijay. In that book he has written Nanda Nandana Krishna Mona Parananda. Mahaprabhu said, my love extends not just to Gunaraj Khan, not just to the Kulina Gram Vasis, not just to the dog. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, anyone who repeats this one line, Nanda Nandana Krishna Mona Parananda, again and again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, they become the recipient of my mercy. What is the statement?
Nanda Nandana Krishna Mona Parananda.
The next time you see Arani Nanda Nandana Krishna Mona Parananda. Because Mahaprabhu said, anyone who says this, even a dog is dear to him. Why? Because a dog cannot even say it, but a dog is connected to the Kulina Gram Vasis who are connected to Gunaraj Khan, who has written the book Sri Krishna Vijay. In that book he has written Nanda Nandana Krishna Mona Parananda. Very easy to remember. There is nothing to remember practically, and there is nothing to forget. It's not a 4-line verse to memorize. So, as a matter of request, please remember this verse. Please chant this verse again and again. Let it not be limited to the 4 walls of ISKCON Lynnwood. Let it go even beyond to our homes, to our Gauranga Nityananda, to Radha Neelamada. Anytime we see the Lord, my dear Lord, Nanda Nandana Krishna Mona Parananda. Because this one line conquered the heart of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And in that association, there was another person by the name Satyaraj Khan. What is the name? Satyaraj Khan asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, who is a Vaishnava? Vaishnava की परिभाषा क्या है? Who is a Vaishnava? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it very simple. Mahaprabhu said, anyone who chants the holy name even once, they are a Vaishnava. That person can be coming from any background, any race, any gender, whatever it is. The Supreme Lord doesn't see the faults. This world people see faults. This world people mock. This world people bully, etc. The Supreme Lord doesn't do all that. The Supreme Lord says, what is the definition of Vaishnava? Anyone who chants the holy name, once that person is a Vaishnava. But it doesn't end here. The first year, this is the first year they are coming to Jagannath Puri, right? And they are asking this question. 2 more incidents are going to happen. Next year also they will come. Uske next year also they will come. Again they will ask the same question. My dear Lord, what is the definition of Vaishnava? And all 3 years Mahaprabhu will give the definition in connection to the holy name, but he will keep changing the definition. The first definition is who is a Vaishnava? Anyone who chants once is Vaishnava. But now next time you will see in Madhya and Antilita, Mahaprabhu will increase the notch. Because one can naturally have the question that Prabhuji, if someone is chanting the holy name once and if that person is a Vaishnava, why to practice Krishna consciousness? Why to get initiated? If they are also Vaishnava, we are also Vaishnava. We GNEAC without 16 round skin, without forgetting the principles. So Mahaprabhu gives a very basic definition to start off. This is device. Mahaprabhu gives a device definition. Then Mahaprabhu is going to increase. The next year Mahaprabhu will increase the definition. Then he will again increase the definition. Mahaprabhu, the first year Mahaprabhu says anyone who chants once is a Vaishnava. Second year Mahaprabhu will say anyone who chants continuously is a Vaishnava. Now that's a dangerous definition. Anyone who chants continuously. Someone thinking पहला definition ठीक था. Because if someone is chanting continuously, that's the definition of Vaishnava, then none of us qualify for that. And on the 3rd year, when they come again, they ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, who is a Vaishnava? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, now look at this definition. Mahaprabhu says, the highest form of Vaishnava is that person looking at whom your tongue starts chanting Hare Krishna. Can you think of such devotees? Looking at whom your tongue starts chanting. They don't even have to speak. Looking at them, oh, your tongue starts chanting. Mahaprabhu says that's the highest stage of Vaishnava. The first stage is when A person has to tell you chant, and then you start chanting. Then is a person is so constantly chanting. The third is they will not even speak anything. Looking at them, you have to start chanting. Mahaprabhu says that is Uttam. Uttam Vaishnava. All real Vaishnava. But Vaishnava also has gradation. All Vaishnava are not same. Based on the attachment to Naam, a Vaishnava gets decided. So this is the first. We will see as per the Lila continues. And finally we see Srila Ishwarapuri. Who is Ishwarapuri? Who is Ishwarapuri? Guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, correct. Because when I am asking who is Ishwarapuri, the mind is seeing what the translation is. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Guru, that is Ishwarapuri, in a book called as Padyavali. Now Padyavali is primarily a composition, it's an amalgamation of different verses. Rupa Goswami has authored it, but there are many verses of different people. Rupa Goswami has brought it together. So Ishwarapuri, the Guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he quotes a very beautiful verse in Padyavali. Rupa Goswami says, Yoga Shrutyam Upapatti Nirjanamana Dhyanadva Sambhavita Swarajyam Pratipatya Nirbhayamami Mukta Bhavantu Dvija Asmakam Dukadam Bakunjara Kuhara Pronila Indipara Shreni Shyamal Dhama Nama Dushatam Janmastu Nakshavati. Srila Ishwarapuri says, if you see the second line, Dvija. Dvija means twice born. Brahmanas are called Dvija. Why? Ja means Janma. Dvija, twice born. Why are Brahmanas twice born? Because the first birth is through your mother and father. The second birth is your spiritual master is the father, Gayatri is the mother. Gayatri mantras. That becomes your second birth. Similarly, the birds are also called as Dvija in Shastra. Birds, they are also called Dvija. Why? Birds don't chant Gayatri mantras. Why are birds called Dvija? Because according to Shastra, the first birth is the egg, and second is when they hatch from the egg. So birds are also called Dvija. But Brahmanas are called Dvija. Why? Because the first birth is the seminal birth, mother and father, and the second is spiritual master is the father, Gayatri mantra is the mother. So the second time we see the word is Dvija. So Ishwarapuri says, let the Dvija Shastra, the twice born who are there, let them follow yoga, Ashtanga yoga, or Shruti Upapati. Let them do Shruti. Shruti means Vedic scriptures. Shruti and Smritis, we have to find the Vedic scriptures. Nirjana Vana, let them even go to the forest. Dhyan, let them do Dhyan. Dhyan means meditation. Let the twice born do yoga, Ashtanga yoga, or let them study Vedic scriptures, or let them go to the forest, or let them do meditation. Swarajya Pratipatya Nirbhayam Avi Mukta Bhavantu Dvija. It is possible by all these paths that these persons get Swarajya, they can get liberated, and Nirbhayam, they can reach the place where there is fearlessness. The abode of the Supreme Lord. They can reach fearlessness by all these processes, by all these tapasyas. But do we care? We don't care. Asma, what we care? Now the point here is, we are not condemning these paths. The point is, these paths are very difficult to attain the Supreme Lord. By going to the forest, by being underwater, by meditating near fire, etc., the chances of getting the Supreme Lord are very rare. There can be personalities, but the proper path, that is not the proper path of sadhana. Ishwarapuri says, Asmakam, do we care? We don't care. Let there be people who keep doing that. Asmakam tu kadampa kunjara kuhara pronila indivara shreni shyamala dhama nama jushatam janmastu lakshavadi. As far as we are concerned, nama jushatam, like Hindi mein bolte hain ki, like for sugar we say ganna chusna. So similarly, nama jushatam means to taste the holy name. To keep the holy name in the mouth, where it's like, let's say you have gulab jamun, you keep a gulab jamun in your mouth. You are not gulping the gulab jamun. You just keep it. What do you do?
rest.
Ananda. Oh. You know what I'm talking about. Savory. Whatever the name. You know. नाम कुछ भी आपको समझ में आ गया है. अलग मसाला. Now Jushata. Keep the holy name. Oh. Right now we are not tasting it. We are tasting gulab jamun. But now, बहुत कड़वा है मुझे. Very no taste in the holy name. Why? Because if there was taste, we would not stop at 16. We would chant more. We stop. 16 is done. Done for the day. Sometimes 16 is done early in the morning, and we have time and ability to still do extra. Prabhupada said, Prabhuji, minimum 16, कर दिए 16. हो गया, आज का खत्म, कोटा खत्म. Tata bye bye, see you tomorrow. We will do something else. Right? Why? Because there is no taste in the room. Rupa Goswami says this in Upadeshamrita. Syam Krishna Nama Charitamrita Sundam Vidya Pittopatapta Rasanam Rasaloji Karanam Kitva Dharadantinam Sadusaiva Justa Swadvi Krava Bhavatita Karmula Hantri. Rupa Goswami gives this example of the sugar cane and jaundice. When a person has jaundice and he or she has sugarcane juice, can they taste the sweetness? No. But do you agree sugarcane is sweet?
Yes.
Very, very sweet. Especially if you are tried it in India, standing in the stall and fresh they are making the sugarcane and nice ice, they'll take the in Vrindavan during peak winter, December, January, that time also they sell sugarcane juice with ice. And if you ask the Brajavasi, they will have an answer for that also. But you see, you don't find it much in America. I don't know how many of you have experienced that standing in India in the street and drinking that sugarcane. It's a different happiness. Drawbacks of living in America. You can't experience this. So Rupa Goswami says, when a person is having jaundice, he or she has sugarcane, they can't experience sweetness. But what's the remedy? Sugarcane juice is the remedy. You keep having sugarcane juice, that sugarcane juice becomes the remedy for your jaundice. And when eventually the jaundice goes away, you experience the sweetness of the sugarcane. Similarly, we have the disease of jaundice, where we are not able to taste the sweetness of Krishna's holy name. But what is the remedy? Keep chanting. The more we keep chanting, now will purify us. Sooner or later, we will start tasting the sweetness of Harinam. This is Upadeshamrita, verse 7. So here Ishvara Puri says, now Jushata. Let anyone keep doing anything. As far as we are concerned, we don't care. We want to do now Jushata. We want to taste the sweetness of holy name. Janmastu Lakshavati for millions of lifetimes. How much your lifetime we have to take in the future? Might you not give me this benediction that in every lifetime I meet the devotees, in every lifetime I get the holy name, and in every lifetime I am able to taste the sweetness. Now Jushata, bas, hum khush hai. Let others go to the forest, let others do tapasya underwater. We don't care. हमें नहीं. Similar to what Madhusudan Saraswati said. हमें नहीं. Continue that path, we will follow what Srila Rupa Goswami has given. And then finally, we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks to Mukunda. Mukunda is the father of Raghunandan. And Mukunda is very, very exalted. Actually, one time there was a king. You have 5 minutes? Mukunda was a physician in a courtroom. He was a doctor by profession. And one time, as the king was sitting, few servants they started fanning the king with peacock feather. When they started fanning the king with peacock feather, Mukunda was a physician. When he looked at the peacock feather, he got so ecstatic that he fell down to the ground unconscious. Why? Because from the peacock feather he remembered Krishna wearing the peacock feather. From that he remembered Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes. From the Vrindavan pastimes he remembered Radharani, and my goodness, Lord of Premananda Haribol. He fell down to the ground. The king became surprised. What happened? He is a doctor, seems like now he needs a doctor to be cured. So finally they sprinkled a little water. He got up. And they asked Mukunda, what happened? And Mukunda could have said, oh, I looked at the peacock feather and I remembered Krishna. And people would If we would have been there, we would have done this. प्रभु जी क्या हो? नहीं कुछ नहीं। अरे प्रभु जी क्या बात? नहीं कुछ नहीं। क्या नहीं प्रभु जो मोर पंख देखे तो भगवान को स्मरण हो। And once the audio. नहीं प्रभु ऐसा no प्रभु ये very advanced प्रभु ये very. In the mind they are convinced he has understood me. He has understood me. I am very advanced. Externally is an प्रभु यार मैं इतना तो कुछ नहीं चाहिए. But inside you are convinced. He has understood. I am very good. It's very advanced. Mukunda would have said this. What does Mukunda say? Mukunda says, oh, I actually have a disease called as epilepsy. बार बार ऐसे झटका लग जाता है. Nothing against you or anything. I have epilepsy. Sometimes this epilepsy comes out of nowhere. That's why it is. But otherwise everything is okay. He doesn't speak a word about his attachment towards God, about Krishna. What is the teaching? What is the principle? Bhakti is kept in the heart. भक्ति दिखावा की चीज नहीं है. हम 64 माला जपते हैं, हम सबके सामने नाम जपते हैं, हम देखो अभी इतना शो कंटेस्ट है, अरे देखो हम कितना अच्छा श्रृंगार करते हैं, अरे हम इतना अच्छा कीर्तन करते हैं. It is not bhakti is not show off. Bhakti is not show. Bhakti is to be kept in the heart, meant for pleasing the Lord. Why are we doing bhakti? To impress Bhagavan. If he is impressed, what's the need to show it to others? What are others going to do anyway? चार लोग ताली बजाएंगे या निंदा करेंगे. But will they help us achieve Krishna? So Narottam Das Thakur also says, आपनेरो भजन कथा ना कहिबो यथा तथा. अपना जो भजन है, आपनेरो भजन कथा ना कहिबो यथा तथा. Don't keep going around and telling, look I did this, look I did that, look I chanted so much, look I read this. Not required. You should tell it to only those. If you are being guided by someone is your mentor, someone is your Shiksha Guru or your Diksha Guru, or from someone who is cultivating you on the path of bhakti, then you should share it with them. Because if you don't share it with them also, then that's a problem. How will they cultivate you? Then you should not be humble. No, I will not share. Shiksha Guru says no share. Then you should share. Because that's where Diksha Guru will correct you. But to put it in Purushottam, I have checked 64 rounds today. What is the agenda? चार लोग तारीफ करेंगे, right? That will increase our possibility. We should share our bhajan only with those who are helping us, who are our mentors, who are our counselors, or Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, whatever you call it. Those from whom you are learning something, you should share it. Not in a public forum with everyone, not required. And it is time and again seen. Why Narottam Das Thakur says? Because if you start sharing it with everyone, you will lose the power to hold on to that vrat. Like for example, Kartik, if you are doing, let's say, eating one time a day. If you go and tell the whole congregation, Mataji, one time. So really only one time. Not just one time, Mataji, only khichdi. I eat only khichdi. So only one time, only khichdi. Not just one time and khichdi, Mataji. Unsalted khichdi. Oh. Mataji is so advanced. Take it from me in writing, you will not be able to do that Kartik. I am not saying this out of experience, I am saying it from Shastric Praman. Shastra time and again says, Bhakti or sadhana is like camphor. Camphor, when you keep it outside, what happens? It loses the power, sublimation. Camphor is always kept in closed doors. Bhakti should be kept in closed doors. Dindora पीटने की जरूरत नहीं कि सबको बता दे इतना माला जपे हम इतना भजन किए इतना निर्जन किए. Not required. What are other people going to do anyway? So bhakti is kept in the heart. Mukunda teaches that even when he fell unconscious in front of everyone, he said, epilepsy. And we will see this pattern. Those who are genuinely very advanced devotees, they will never speak of themselves. Few days ago, I was speaking to Srila Radhanswami Maharaj. So, I was telling Maharaj as to how I wanted to meet him, but somehow I am not able to, because because he had come to ISP also, I couldn't go there. And somehow, the purpose of the call basically was I was not able to do my Sharanagati retreat. And I was very frustrated about that. So I was asking Maharaj, how, as a devotee, how should I deal with it? And in that discussion, we were telling Maharaj, we want to be around you, we want to serve you, but we are not able to do it. And we want your association, but we are not getting it. And then, you won't believe, Maharaj very humbly, he paused and Maharaj said, what would you get by associating with me anyway? I am always dipped in Maya. This is what he said. I am always dipped in Maya. What would you get by associating with me anyway? And of course, that is his humility. Let's not take that as truth. If we start taking that as truth, there is something wrong with our Krishna consciousness. But that's the sincerity, that's the humility of sadhus. They will never accept their words. Never. Never. If you see Lynnwood also, there is not even one place I can think of where I can say I am very ignorant. After chanting 2 lakhs every day, Lynnwood I am the most fallen. I am a Kaliyuga rejected. Lynnwood. Srila Guru Maharaj, my worshipable spiritual master, Srila Maharaj, when someone asked him that, why don't you write a book about yourself so that everyone will know about you? आप आपके बारे में पुस्तक क्यों नहीं लिखते? सब आपके बारे में जानेंगे और शायद वो पढ़कर भक्ति में तीव्रता जाग उठेगी. आप अपने बारे में पुस्तक क्यों नहीं लिखते? श्रीला गुरु महाराज ने साढ़े श्रीला गुरु महाराज से हम पुस्तक नहीं लिखेंगे और हम नहीं चाहते कि लोग हमारे बारे में जाने. हम जब इस जगत से चले जाए, हम नहीं चाहते कि राधा गोविंद दास गोस्वामी नामक कोई व्यक्ति था ये जगत जान पाए. I don't want the people or the world to even know that such a person ever existed. They don't have to. Srila Guru Maharaj said, वो प्रभुपाद जी के बारे में जानने वही सब कुछ है. हमारे बारे में जानने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. And we see this pattern. Those who speak about themselves, that I have done so much. This is what I have done. I have built this temple. I have cultivated so many devotees. I have so many people under me. It's a very immature understanding, if I am very honest. Because genuine devotees will not speak about themselves. No one will speak about themselves. And we find Shastra so many examples. Devotees means they will glorify other devotees, but they will keep quiet. Till the time other devotees don't speak about this devotee, that Prabhu, do you know this devotee has done so much? That we can't control. But a devotee never speaks that, look, I have done so much. Look, I have done this. Look, I have done this. Why? Because that's not the quality of devotee. Devotee is, he takes every opportunity to glorify others. But when it comes to him, and you would have seen many devotees also, when they are being glorified, they will very smoothly change the topic. So many devotees you see the pattern. When they are glorified, very smoothly they will change pattern. Or when they are glorified, they will get up from the room. Like I remember, I will not name, but I was in one association where one great sadhu was being glorified. And somehow he did not like him being glorified. So he got up. And he didn't get up to make it very explicit that he's not liking it. He just got up and said, okay, I'll just be back. I think my throat is a little parched. So I'll just get a glass of water and I'll come back. And he left. And he didn't come back. He showed as if he went to take water, but water was only bahana. He did not want to be in an assembly where he was being glorified. Why? Because if you are constantly there in an assembly where we are only being glorified, very soon it will get to the head. When it gets to the head, bhakti will go for a toss. Bhakti will take the back seat and the mind will think, look, I am very, very advanced. I am very advanced. And that's the start of fall down. When the person thinks naturally that he is very advanced or she is very advanced, it's not a very good Vaishya quality. There's one quote I remember I read many, many years back. My roommate had actually told me, there was one devotee here, Prabhu. So I remember one time we were discussing this, and on his WhatsApp he had this status. And it was again a quote by Srila Raghunath Maharaj. The quote was, when someone has pride, the person is already fallen. What comes later are the details. I repeat it. When a person has pride, the person is already fallen. What comes later are the details. Are the details. So here you see Mukunda was so humble he didn't speak anything. Finally she Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All this while, I had kept my watch the other way. And last couple of minutes, as I was speaking, why is my watch showing 3:30? It's actually 9 o'clock. And I had kept it the other way, saying, 3:30 क्यों दिखा है? So finally, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his brother Vidyavachaswati and gives them an instruction. Sarvabhauma, you worship Jagannath, that is in the form of wood, and Vidyavachaswati, you worship Ganga in the form of water. And finally, so last, there is one author called as Sri Venkatanath. In his introduction, he brings about a comparison between Gita or Ganga. Who is glorious, Bhagavad Gita or Ganga? Or both? Both, correct? Both should be glorious. Anyone for this one? Bhagavad Gita? How many for Bhagavad Gita? One. Okay. Two, three. Oh, both. Okay. Now, how many for Gita? Only Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is glorious. What's glorious? Eight. Two, okay, three. How many for Ganga? Ganga is glorious.
Actually, both of them are.
Both are glorious, correct?
Who is more glorious, mother and father? You are asking a child. It is hard to.
Like, I think if I ask the child will have an answer.
Child will answer.
See, I will ask you after class. The question should not be glorious. Whom do you love more, mother or father? Then they will have an answer. Let's try it. But Venkatanath, who is one bona fide author, he brings the point of Gita and Ganga, two G's, Gita and Ganga. And he says, please kindly read. Jata sitvam muraha, Jata sitvam murahara mukhash, Jata vitasya pada, sarvana vyudha vibhavati sato, magna satu magna vidate, pratya brahma sanidhim prapya vishram yasitvam, matar gite jadati dimayam, Mati Natva Prabhava. So this commentator he writes that what is the origin of Gita?
Lord's mouth. Gita.
Mouth of the Supreme Lord. What is the origin of Ganga?
Lord's feet.
The feet. Which is glorious? The lips or the feet? Charan. Which is higher? Mouth or the feet? Mouth. Okay. That is correct. The author says the origin of Gita is the lotus lips of Bhagavan. The origin of Ganga is the feet. First point. Second, he says, Sarvan abhyudharati bhavati sadhu magnan vidhati. That the Bhagavad Gita has a quality. What is the quality of Bhagavad Gita?
Whosoever dipped in the
Bhagavad Gita. Mataji is one step ahead. Translation very easy. नहीं समझ नहीं वो भगवद गीता में किधर डुबकी लगा है What is the quality of Bhagavad Gita? It uplifts everyone. What is the quality of Ganga? Ganga comes to Lynnwood, correct? Ganga comes to Lynnwood, right? No? You have to go to Ganga? Ganga doesn't come to you. Bhagavad Gita comes to you. Device, Sunday, Monday, Saturday. Bhagavad Gita is coming to you. Ganga, you have to go to Ganga. Which is glorious now? Ganga? Still Ganga? We started by saying both are equal. Now I think thoda palat hai. Then we said one is from the lips, one is from the feet. The second point we are saying One uplifts everyone, wherever you are. But for Ganga, you have to voluntarily go to Ganga. Now, what do you think? Who is glorious?
Gita.
Still both?
Still both.
Okay, still both. Okay, still both. Okay.
There is reasoning, same kind level of reasoning. So like when you say that whether I'm here, if I'm thinking about Vrindavan, then I'm in Vrindavan.
Correct.
Similarly, if I'm thinking about Ganga, then my heart is with Ganga. So I'm still getting the same benefit, because if you're talking about the spiritual level of everything, then same.
How many sit here and think about Ganga?
Yeah, when we do puja, if I'm doing that every day, then I'm
Every day.
If I'm saying that praise of Ganga every day, then it's the same thing.
How many do it every day?
But that's a different question.
It's a valid question. When we say we do puja every day, how many chant verses about Ganga every single day?
Then how many chant Gita every day?
There are more number of people who chant the verses of Gita than Ganga.
So now you're counting the numbers. I'm saying if you are doing this,
Because Gita is more accessible. Is that not the reason why people are taking shelter of Gita more?
so if you are not taking that level, then Ganga originally does not mean just a river. Ganga is basically the source of Gyan. Ganga represents Gyan.
Because
And
Gita
Gita
is also
giving Gyan. So it's basically the same thing. If you are talking at that level.
How is Ganga Gyan?
Ganga is Gyan.
Explain to me.
So now I have to go outside of Gaudiya Vaishnava thing. Okay, Gaudiya Vaishnava something.
Make it very simple. How is Ganga
Yeah.
Gyan?
So गंगा जो है उसका जो सोर्स है, गंगा कृष्ण जी, या तो अगर आप देखते हो कि कृष्ण हरि के चरणों से आती है, या कहते हैं कि शिव जी के शीश से निकलती है. तो गंगा रिप्रेजेंट्स ज्ञान.
भगवान के चरणों से आती है और शिव भगवान से प्रधान.
हाँ, तो जब अगर आप उनको उसमें देखोगे ना, शिव के फॉर्म में देखोगे अगर आप, तो गंगा रिप्रेजेंट्स ज्ञान. हाउ इसकी बहुत सारी महिमाएं हैं. मैं आपको चलो काशी बताता हूँ. फॉर एग्जाम्पल काशी.
आप मुझे सरल भाव में बताइए.
सरल भाव में ये कहते हैं.
How is Ganga equivalent to Bhagavad Gita's knowledge?
गंगा represents ज्ञान.
Ganga purifies, I think, sir.
Ganga represents ज्ञान.
purifies.
If you go to Ved, Puran and Shastra, Ganga represents ज्ञान. Yamuna represents love, and that's why when Ganga and Yamuna meet.
Yeah, please explain to me now.
Okay, so let's go to let's describe Kashi. Okay, Kashi covers all of that. So Kashi, the name of Kashi comes from, it actually represents Sangam, right? So they say Ganga represents Jnana, Yamuna represents love, and Saraswati represents Bhagwan ki kripa. And when they all come together, then you reach Bhagwan. That's what Kashi represents. And in that Mahatmya, Ganga represents Jnana, and then there are other sources also which say Ganga represents Jnana, because that's so when you think of Bhagwan in the form of Shiv, then his Gyan Chakshu and Ganga basically it's source of knowledge. It is source of knowledge.
Okay, I get it. It's somehow still, I could not get the answer to my question as to how Ganga is knowledge, but maybe that is my shortcoming. Anyway, we come back to this course. This is not my course, this is one very bona fide author. And he says, Jatasita Murahara. What is the origin of Gita? Murahara. It is the origin coming from the lips of Murari Shri Bhagavan. Janami Tasya Pada. The origin of Ganga is the feet of Bhagavan. Sarvan Abhyudharati Bhavati Sadhu Bhagavan Vidhate. Bhagavad Gita has this quality of delivering everyone. But Ganga has this quality that person has to go to Ganga. Narottam Das Thakur makes the same point in his song Gangara Parsha Vede Pastete Pavan Darshana Pavitra Dora Ei Tumaro. Narottam Das Thakur says in a Vaishnava version called as Eibara Karo Karura Karo Vaishnava Gosai. There he says Gangara Parsha Vede Pastete Pavan. To get purified by Ganga, the person has to go to Ganga. This is the second praman by Narottam Das Thakur. Darshana Pavitra Dora Ei Tumaro. But sadhus are considered more glorious than even Ganga Devi. Why? Because sadhus keep walking everywhere around. And Darshane Pavitra Dora Ei Tumaro. By looking at sadhu, a person gets purified. Narottam Das Thakur there also he says, for Ganga Devi, person has to go to Ganga. Ganga doesn't come home. But sadhus come home. They come home, visit and speak in places. Same point here, Sarvana Abhyuttara Bhavati Sadhu Mankan Vidate, that Gita delivers the whole world. Ganga also delivers the whole world. The difference is Gita comes naturally everywhere. Even in a theatre stadium, even in a soccer stadium. Ganga, the person has to go there. Pratyag Brahmamrita Rasanidhi Prapya Vishram Esitvam Matar Gite Jadanidhi Mayam Madhinatva Prabhava. And then finally the author says that the Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Lord and it is the source of Supreme nectar. When it enters the ear also of the listener, it is the source of supreme joy. But then he says, Matar Gite Jadanidhi Mayam Madhinatva Prabhava, that Ganga Devi is very, very glorious. But where does Ganga Devi go and meet? It goes and meets into an ocean which is salty. He uses the word Jadanidhi Mayam Madhinatva Prabhava. He says, when Gita is spoken by Bhagavan, it is coming from the lips of Bhagavan. And it is a source of nectar, and when it enters the ear of the listener, it is again giving nectar. But Ganga Devi is very, very glorious. We are not putting down Ganga Devi. Ganga Devi is very, very glorious. But Ganga Devi finally goes and meets a salty ocean. Jadanidhi, he uses the word. So he says, between the two, my dear Gita, you are more glorious. This is a very bona fide commentator that Srila Prabhupada also used. So we are quoting here. In fact, Srila Prabhupada also would say, if you go to the Vedas, Prabhupada also said, between Ganga and Yamuna is more glorious. It's not one over the other. Prabhupada said many, many times that if Ganga Devi is purified 100 times, it is Yamuna. You will find Prabhupada's statement on this. So it's not a sectarian point. It's not that we are putting one over the other. There are some Vaishnava Siddhanta that are beyond our understanding. Srila Prabhupada has said it, Srila Narottam Thakur has said it, and this is the third Praman of Sri Venkatanath, this is the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Jatasi Pam Murahar Mukhar Jahnavi Tasya Pada Sarva Abhyut Dharati Bhavati Sadhu Bhagnan Vidatte Pratyag Brahmamrita Rasanidhi Prapya Vishram Esitvam Matar Gite Jadanidhi Mayam Madhinatva Prabhava. Having said this, I very humbly want to stop here. In our today's discussion, we discussed about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Rath Yatra coming to an end. We discussed about the Hera Panchami. We discussed about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's bidding farewell to his different devotees. We spoke about the Pani Hati, and finally we did some comparison of the Gita and Ganga. However you want to take it, if you want to take Gita and Ganga as equal, please do. If you want to take Gita or Ganga, please do. If you want to take Ganga or Gita, please do. Whatever suits best, this is what Sampradaya has to offer. Gaura Premanande, Hare Guru, Hare Krishna.
So you told about Satyaraj Khan and Gulraj Khan. Just hearing the name.
They are not Muslim.
Okay. So is there any?
There is no reasoning to why they have a surname called Khan. They were not Muslims. One understanding would be maybe in the past their lineage would have been Muslim lineage, but at least there is no mention of they being Muslim.
I think Khan is also a title also given. My college principal's name was B. Kant Khan. It was Bhagwan Kant Khan.
I always wonder how come Haridas.
And they were in Muslim.
So he said that
How do you get that?
like somehow he has got that title because they were very prominent in that area.
Originally, the parent must have given some other name.
There is no mention. There are many examples where many things are not explicitly mentioned. Like for example, we were mentioning actually this in last week when we had the youth program. We mentioned that in our Sampradaya, you see, it's not a Diksha Sampradaya. Our Sampradaya is not a Diksha Sampradaya. It's a Siksha Sampradaya. It's a Bhagavad Sampradaya where focus is there on Diksha, but more focus is on Siksha. Now, it doesn't mean that we are saying Diksha is not important. Diksha is important. Bhakti Vinod Thakur. No. No. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is not a Diksha Guru. He is a Siksha Guru. Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Gurudev is?
Bhakti Vinod Thakur Gurudev is Bipin Bihari.
Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Guru is not Jagannath Swami. It is Bipin Bihari Goswami. Siksha Guru is Jagannath Swami. So in our order, if you see, there are only two: Prabhupada to Saraswati Thakur, Saraswati Thakur to Gaurachandra Swami. This is Diksha. After that, it is majority Siksha reference. So Gaurachandra Swami's Guru is not Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He is Siksha Guru. Diksha Guru is different. Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Diksha Guru is Bipin Bihari Goswami. Siksha Guru is Jagannath Swami. Jagannath Swami's Guru is different. His Siksha Guru is, I think, Baladev Vidyabhushan. Baladev Vidyabhushan's Guru is, Diksha Guru is different. Siksha Guru is Vishwanath Chakravarti. So the whole Sampradaya is primarily a Siksha Sampradaya, it's not a Diksha Sampradaya at all. So many of the names that we have are all Siksha. Diksha names we have not heard. So the point I'm trying to make is, in our Sampradaya there are many things that are not explicitly given, like Anita Saku's name. Similarly, who are the parents of Krishna's Kaviraj? Why do Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami not see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even once, being the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita? There is no answer. An author not seeing the person whom he is writing about. There are many things like that. So Haridas Thakur, what was his name before?
Just curiosity, Prabhu.
I don't think there is anywhere any mention of what is previous. Who he is, that is given. What is previous things?
Slightly going back to that topic of Ganga, right? So I totally agree with that, and I think that makes very valid point. But we also hear Ganga is also very accessible. Sometimes they have this mantra. I forget the mantra, but when you do that, and then you expect Ganga to flow in your tank, and then I think it's some Diwali or something. They recite this mantra and then they take bath of it, right? So that's why they call it. It's like that point is likely.
That is correct.
That is easily accessible. That's like Bhagavad Gita.
So probably I should explain it better. So the point is, Bhagavad Gita is accessible. Ganga is accessible. Suppose I am sitting here and thinking about Ganga, taking bath in Ganga, 100% you are going to get the benefit of dipping in Ganga. We are not ruling that. But the point is, like you said, the chanting of the mantra in Diwali. Diwali is going to come outside. Bhagavad Gita has access more often to different means, which more accessible. They're sitting at one place. There are many ways of accessing that scripture. In comparison to Ganga. Ganga, I have to sit down and think about Ganga. So both are accessible. But between the two, the avenue of remembering Bhagavan is provided more on Bhagavad Gita in the form of 700 verses. While Ganga, yes, there are verses, but you have to sit down and think about Ganga and now I'm going to Ganga and now I'm going to take it. You will get the benefit. But my point is how much you will do. If you are going to do it every day, then for your sake. But in general assembly, you will not find many who will do. Bhagavad Gita, people, many know verses. If you go to Indian dispute books, people will say Karmandi Madhikara se Mahapariji Padachana. Everyone knows. You ask someone, chant one verse of Ganga, they will not know. You may know it, you may know. But what are the odd people who will know verses of Ganga?
I don't know.
I also don't know it, but I am talking about the Ganga is Gyan. And I just found out also a couple of Upanishads also, and even Shiv Puran, literally the shlokas are saying that.
So again the point is, we have not denied that it is not accessible. It is accessible. But the odds are little less that the person will sit down and do not taking bath in Ganga.
No, Prabhuji, but the point is, if you know what that form of the divinity represents, as long as you have assimilated that, that what, like for example, when you think of Ramji, right? So you have to see, you have to basically, first you have to spend time on it, right? And once you know what does the form of Lord Ram represent, then you will know that whenever you see Ram,